Hey there guys, we're going to be going back to the Ethne Clash of Wills because I got some requests to show a rank 1 Ethne clear using Addison. So we're going to go back to Vestige of Ethne and get a rank 1 with Addison Rae on the party. So let's go. This is the team we're going to be using. We're going to be using Elena for obvious reasons. We're going to be using the Near Girls for damage. We're going to be using Ibarra for killers and damage, and Richt for damage and breaking. And then Addison Rae is going to be our buffer. So let's get in here and give it a clear. Turn chart will be in the comments. Show the gear at the end, as usual. So I will say up front, this is a challenge run. I am making this video because it was requested, not because I think you should really specifically bring Addison to Clash of Wills. But it can be done, as we're going to show. So turn 1, Addison Rae will just go ahead and sing for us with I Wanted to Go With You. Elena, in the base form, will do the usual. We'll cover Sanctuary and Shelga. We're going to have A2 do her Inorganic Imbue, Gentle Trader for the immunity, and Offensive for the morale. Ibarra will do both the killers and then a Dark Self-Imbue, only the Self-Imbue. 2B will do True Charge, Avoid, and Human, and then Richt in the shift form will do Luminous, Radiant, and Bolting. So the boss has mitigations on these turns. We're not really going to do too much damage here. Okay, some attacks. The typical stuff, you know, you guys have seen this fight before. We kind of know what's going on. Overall, this is not the most interesting Clash of Wills, especially for an anniversary boss. It's kind of basic now that we know exactly the turn-by-turn actions of the boss. So we're going to use Elena on this turn to imbue herself with light elements. So True, Luminous, Innervation, then Absolute and Bolting. We're going to have Richt go to the base form, where he's going to do his Light Within Killer and then just double Bolting. Ibarra is now going to do Wish of Vengeance and then double Bolting. 2B will just do triple Human Killer, and we'll do triple Offensive with A2 as we work on filling that morale gauge. Okay. And mitigation goes away on this coming turn. So some more attacks, no big deal. Okay, now the mitigation is gone. Now we're going to start dealing some damage a little bit. So we're going to use Elena's base form LB. We're going to have Richt go back to the shift form. And he's going to do his shift form LB. We're going to have Ibarra base LB, 2B shift LB, and we're going to SLB with A2. We're going to go ahead and do this. Now we're going to try to weave in A2's SLB. I'm not very good at this, so we're going to wait a long time, then start chaining, and we're going to hope that we kind of weaved it in. I think we sort of did. So there we go, a little bit of damage. It looks decent. Okay, fine. So some more stuff this turn. We're going to be doing our first burst on turn 5, by the way. We delayed it a little bit from my usual clear, but I think this works out slightly better. Okay, Addison Rae is finally singing Zidane's SDMR for us. The song is complete. So now what she's going to do is sing again. I Wanted to Go With You. Refresh that song buff. Okay, so Elena on this turn will refresh cover. And we'll do Absolute Mirror and Bolting Strike. We're going to have Richt in the shift form do Leading Light, the 180 amplify as we get ready for a big burst coming up. Then we're going to do double Bolting. Ibarra in the shift form will double Bolting and Focus. Double Bolting and Focus. 2B in the base form will triple R40. Fill that LB gauge, and then A2 will now swap over to Finisher for more damage because the morale is done. We'll go ahead and send Elena first to get that, because she's doing different chaining frames. Then we'll send the rest. And a little bit of damage here, but our first decent burst will be on turn 5. And we're going to push that threshold. We need to push the boss below 70 on this turn for the turn chart to work. But with this team and these actions, it should be relatively simple to do. Okay, so we're going to base form LB Elena. We're going to Hateful Blade, our A2. We're going to base form LB 2B. We're going to shift it LB Ibarra, and we're going to base LB Richt. His base LB is more damage. We're going to go ahead and use both the 400% buffs from the morale bar, and we'll go ahead and chain this up. So this is probably going to deal the damage cap, although we're not actually... I'm sorry, the bigger damage cap will come later in the fight. 67, not bad. I've done better, but this is fine. 3.2, we're going to be doing a lot bigger of a burst later in the fight. We're going to save that for Phase 3. Anyway, now we're in Phase 2. So the boss has mitigation. We're not going to bother re-imbuing this turn. We're going to just wait out that mitigation. So we're going to use A2 to SLB. 2B will just triple R40 to fill her LB gauge. Ibarra will just triple bolting to fill that LB gauge. We don't need Mirage on this turn. Richt is going to do back to the base form and triple bolting. Let's see. Elena will cover again. We got to refresh that, so we're going to refresh cover. Then she'll do absolute and bolting. And let's see. Let's go ahead and do the attack buff. Oh my god, I hate this. I did this during a freaking LB and it froze the game. This is the stupidest glitch. I wish they would fix this crap. I gotta reset the app. Be back in a sec. Alright guys, we're back. I'm going to open the morale bar while an LB is not going off. Then we're going to SLB A2. We're going to triple R40 2B. We're going to triple bolting Ibarra. And as I mentioned, we're not re-imbuing this turn. We're just waiting at the moment for the turn durations line up. We'll triple bolting our Richt and Elena. Elena is still imbued though, so she's going to do like the enemy ceiling or whatever. Actually, I don't even think that's a mechanic this fight, but whatever. We're doing it regardless. So Elena will go, and then we'll chain these, but we're not imbued right now, so the damage is going to be pretty much irrelevant. Which is fine. The boss had mitigation regardless from the threshold. Okay, still one more turn of mitigation, but we are going to imbue this turn to deal a little bit of damage. Alright, so this turn, Addison Ray is finished singing again, but this time she's going to give us some immunity buffs. We're going to chill out for the morale. We're going to do rhythmic fake for the break immunity, and then positive for an LB fill rate buff. We're going to do, you might be wondering why are we not miraging with Addison. We're going to do that with 2B instead. Elena is going to re-imbue light this turn with True Luminous. Then we're going to do the resist cooldown. And then we're going to do Kurega just to top the party back off. We took a little bit of damage. Richt on this turn is going to do Luminous and then double bolting in the shift. Ibarra is going to go to the base form and refresh her Dark Imbue. A noon, and then both the killer buffs. 2B is going to go to the shift form. We're going to do True Charge for the imbue. We're going to do killer and then avoid for the 4-stack mirage. Then we're going to do inorganic and then double finisher with A2. So let's go ahead and attack in a magic buff and chain this up a little bit. Just a little bit of damage. Okay. Now the mitigation is gone, now the real damage resumes. Okay, so there's 2 of the mirages gone, which is fine. Mana drain. Okay, turn 8. So Addison is going back into the singing mode with I Wanted to Go With You. Elena will now do cover. We're going to refresh this for the threshold, and then go ahead and absolute and bolting just to get ready. Richt will do Radiant to get ready for a big burst and double bolting. Ibarra, shift form. We're going to double bolting and focus. We're not doing a big burst yet. We're getting set up for it. We're going to do, let's see, turn 8. We're going to do triple human on 2B, and then A2 will do a triple finisher. So we're just dealing a little bit of damage. We're not really doing bursting yet. We're going to do a big burst on turn 11. So, you know, turns 9 and 10, we're going to be getting set up for it. Yeah, for the turn durations is why we're doing it this way. So it all lines up nicely. Okay, turn 9. Now we're going to start getting ready for setup. So we're going to start with Elena doing her LB. We're going to do the SLB of A2, but we're going to try to weave it in again. 2B, shifted LB, Ibarra, base form LB, and Richt, shifted LB. Oh, we're already shifted. This is similar to the phase 1 setup. And we'll go ahead and do resounding. We'll do resilient. And we'll go ahead and send A2. And we're going to wait. And we're going to try to weave this in. I'm not sure what the point of it being such a long LB is, but there it is. I think we got it. Looks good. Okay. So like I mentioned, the big burst will be happening on turn 11. That's where we're going to hit really high. And we're going to go deeper into phase 3. So there's the rest of the Mirage from 2B, so that's good. Okay, so this turn, we're going to use Elena to shift here. We're going to get her really set up. So we're going to do Grace, we're going to do the Field, and we're going to do Blessing of Sirius. Now, you might be wondering, Sirius is the Ice Imbue, but that fills her LB gauge to the maximum, which is important. Richt in the base form will now refresh his killer with Light from Within. We're going to do Leading Legend, and we're going to do Hope and Trusted. Ibarra, shift form, where we're going to do double bolting, and then Magnus is the last action for that big 150 amp. 2B in the shift form is going to do Supreme and double human, and then A2 is going to do Yorha and double finisher. Okay, let's go ahead and attack a magic buff, and we'll go ahead and chain this up. Okay, now we're going to be bursting next turn. So here we go. Some attacks, no big deal. Don't need Mirage that turn. And here we go. So we're going to do the shifted LB of Elena, which is a triple bolting strike. We're probably auto-casting the finishes. Then Addison is going to triple bolting to match up with Elena. We're going to use both the stat buffs on the morale bar. Zidane's STMR is finished from Addison, therefore we have 300 LB buff. Shifted LB Ibarra, base form LB 2B, make sure you shift her, and then Hateful Blade on A2. And Richt will do the base form LB. And okay, this should be the damage cap yet again, and it should push us into phase 3. Nice chunk of damage, and we did 5.1 billion damage with Addison Rae on the party. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Imagine if we had had like Melissa with modifier buffs and all that, stronger single target killers, all the good stuff. But 5.1 billion with Addison Rae. Gotta love it. So now we're in phase 3. Phase 3, the boss has mitigation again, but this time Richt can deal with that. That being said, all our imbues have worn off. So we're going to Moment of Weakness to get rid of the boss's stat buffs, Luminous Burst to re-imbue, and then just Bolting Strike. We're going to use A2 to re-imbue with Inorganic, and then just double Finisher. We're going to use 2B to, in the base form, True Charge for the imbue, and double R40 to fill LB. Ibarra in the base form is going to reapply everything, all the killers. So both the killers, a Noon, we'll do that first. Elena is going to stay in the shift form from this point forward. We're going to do True Lumen for the imbue, and then Absolute and Bolting. We'll go ahead and send her off first because she's doing different frames. And we're going to use Addison this turn to do Chill Out. We're going to do Fake for the immunities, and then we're going to do Switch Step for the Mirage on the party. We do need Mirage. Also, Addison is our provoker, and she is using Guts. So that those Guts on Addison, we're going to Mirage 2 hits, and Addison will Guts the 3rd hit. So here we go. Okay. And there we go. So now we're going to use the morale bar to do a little bit of healing. Wait for the auto-casting to finishes. So the morale bar, a little bit of healing. We're doing turn 13. So now we're going to do the shifted LB of Elena. We're going to do the shift Ibarra, and we're going to do double bolting and focus. 2B will do the shifted LB, which is triple bolting. We're going to triple finisher with A2. Richt will shift the LB, which is triple bolting. Let's go ahead and do some morale bar buffs. And then Addison is going to do triple. We're going to do positive outlook. We're going to double Mirage for the party. And then for the single target stuff, we are going to 10 stack Mirage herself as the last action. That'll handle the single target of this turn and all the single target of next turn. So let's go ahead and chain all this up, deal a little bit of damage here. And I almost kind of sort of want us to see turn 14 because you're going to see Addison Mirage 6 single target hits. But unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to get to turn 14 because we're going to kill the boss right here. And I'm not going to intentionally stall because the turn 14 clear is just fun to do. Now, we are zombied at this point, but that's fine. Addison still has 7 stacks of Mirage remaining. This turn will be only a single target, 6 single target physical hits. Addison has 7 Mirage stacks remaining, so she's going to provoke all 6 single targets and survive. That being said, we're going to kill the boss right here, unfortunately. So finish her 3 times with A2, 2B, we'll go to the base form and R40 3 times. There is no AoE this turn. Ibarra to the base form, she will do her base LB. Addison will Extreme Nova with the Materia. Richt will do triple bolting. And Elena will do double bolting and Beetlejuice. We'll go ahead and do this, and unfortunately, that is going to be the win. I do have the turn chart laid out all the way until turn 15. So if we didn't kill the boss right there, you would follow the turn chart. Yeah, this turn, all the boss does is 6 single target physicals, and they're all going to be miraged by our 10 stack Addison. But yeah, and then turn 15, you would do Hateful Blade on A2, the LB of 2B, the LB of Rift, the LB of Elena, and then Addison and Ibarra that turn would just triple bolting, and Ibarra would mirage in case you have to go yet another turn, which you shouldn't. Perfect score. Perfect score. We did 5.1 billion. There's the team. You know, Addison was on the party, so people that have been asking me, showing Addison rank 1. We did 5.1 billion. We did it in 14 turns, and we had Addison on the party. Of course, we're obviously using a lot of meta units on top of that, but it was still amusing. Look at Richt, 5.8, carrying that party. Anyway, I'll show you the gear real quick. And again, turn charts in the comments if you really want to copy this clear. As you saw, Addison was mostly a meme joke unit who did basically nothing except like miraged once or twice and then did Zidane's STMR. You can replace her with whatever, another damage dealer. You can replace her with Dwayne or something. Dwayne, Nora, anything you want, because literally all she did was just like sing Zidane's STMR, which we can replace with Ibarra's Wish for Vengeance. So yeah, so here's the party. So Elena is using 300 or better ice resist, both forms, paralyze immunity, mana reduction, counter build, a little bit hot, pure lotus, steady shield, etc. Shift form is LB damage versus the 3 races. She's maxed on everything. There it is. Addison is our passive provoker. Make sure Elena is not passive provoking. Addison passive provokes Zidane's STMR, Extreme Nova Materia. We gave her the Celestite Rod for starting morale. We gave her a Source of Guts for that first hit in Phase 3. Mana reduction, death immunity because she is the provoker, and then a morale card. And she was the best singer ever. Richt, both forms, LB damage versus the race combo. He does large amounts of damage, and then we gave him a morale card as well. Ibarra using Dark Rain's card. Again, LB damage versus humans and fairies with a little bit of regen with Pure Lotus. And I think, yeah, we're using Guardian of Kyrie on Richt just for more LB fill. It's optional, makes it easier. Anyway, Ibarra's maxed on everything as well. 2B maxed on everything. Again, LB damage versus the combo. A lot of mana regen because she doesn't have any natural mana regen. A lot of LB fill to help her out a little bit. And then her own card. And then A2. Again, LB damage, not LB, just regular damage versus the combo. She's maxed on all the killers. There we go, and we're getting Chain Cap from the Wish card. And yeah, rank 1. That was interesting. It might even be fun for me to swap out Addison and bring like another damage dealer just to like seriously overkill this boss. Bring Dwayne and just really blow it up. Could be fun. Anyway, there it is. Hope it was enjoyable. See you in a bit.